What's up, everybody? Testing, testing, testing. All right, cool, cool. So what's up, everybody? Hopefully everybody's having a great week, great year, great month, great summer, all that good stuff. Today what I want to do is just kind of go over the market and see a couple of things and probably show you guys a few things on what I look to for when charting. And let's break down these futures and look for levels into this week, right? But anyways, we do have a lot of coming up earnings, and there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of news catalyst with the war, as everybody is well aware of, which I really don't got to get into details with, because opinions don't matter when it comes to war. But just remember that the reaction of the market can and probably will happen overnight or during the session, and that'll be it. And then after that, the actual trend will continue to follow. So there's a lot of things that have to be included when you're looking at the volatility, right? The volatility is this VIX right here. What I want to show you guys is I'm just going to go on the weekly chart just so you guys can see it. This is a fear index, and I tried telling so many people that you cannot chart this, okay? Whatever you do, this is not something that you should be able to chart and say, hey, this is at support, because there's no such thing as fear being at support. But this is a great tool to have when you just go on a smaller time frame and just kind of look at it, just see where we're at intraday, right? So for example, today, I know that the market was, it dropped right at the open, but then it ended up going green on the day, ended up trending all the way up, right? But look at this, it was the same reaction here. The fear that first 15 minutes, and right after that, like everything went away, and then the VIX just kept on dropping. So there was no point and no reason to be bearish during the day. Just the open, everything went green. It was kind of nice, right? A lot of gaps were filled to the top, which was kind of cool. Some held, some didn't. Other stocks ended up having green days, some had red. So it's just a matter of what sector moves in what direction, right? But this is just a great example of where you can see intraday. No specific levels. Remember that. I don't care if somebody goes over here and says, hey, look, we're on a channel or we're at support or whatever. Like, whatever they say, whatever they do, they have no idea what they're talking about, because fear cannot be charted. Okay, guys? It's just an extra tool to have to understand on when the market breaks a support level, that there may be an increase of the VIX rising or breaking down, whichever one it is. Okay. So like I said, if the futures were breaking down a major level on the day, this thing will probably be shooting up green. If the market were to go green after bouncing at support, then the VIX most likely would be trending down. Okay. But keep this open on your guys' screen while you guys are day trading, just because there's a lot of earnings and catalysts with the war. And I think the GDP is this week, and some data, is coming out or whatever. But keep this open, guys. All right. Don't stray away from it. Make sure you guys keep eyes on it. But please do not chart it. Okay. Oil, we're on a different note right here. I think the weekly time frame, we've seen this thing, pumping up. We've seen this trend. We've seen this go down to zero. This 6.5 was actually zero. But this thing went parabolic to 130, dropped back down, consolidated, kind of found its own value, its own support throughout the year and months right here. And right now, we're actually just kind of trending up. This actually looks like a little bear flag, right? If I were to, let me do this here on the weekly time frame. But if you, take a closer look, like we're actually still trending. So if this can literally, I know a lot of you oil traders, just remember that we have a doji right here, almost in the middle of nowhere. If it can get above this 88 or just that candle body alone, 88.33, if you want to be exact, then for sure start looking for the trend back up into 95 and back to 100 towards the end of the year. It's all this consolidation right here is kind of nice, which gave us a form of accumulation and a new demand zone on a bigger time frame. So this is good for oil in general. So don't be scared of the smaller time frames. Just drop and just make sure we're above 85 and 88, like I said, 0.30, right? We're going to be looking for 90, 95, and 100 pretty soon. But this is a weekly time frame just so you guys can get the bigger picture as to where we're at. But anyways, right here, smaller time frames, you guys just want to just go back and look at the basis. And I think these would be the ones that would help you. So all these wicks right here from the previous sessions, even this base right here, will take us back up. So hopefully it builds a range and things cool off. Things like CDX, XOM, Oxy, and APA, a couple other ones, right? I'm sure you guys can do your DD on this one, right? But yeah, continue to trade oil, guys. It's still a little bit bullish. You know, remember that intraday could go bearish, and don't be afraid to play puts. Also, I know a lot of you guys like to trade oil out there. Smaller caps. Let's look at the bigger time frame now. Now this one, I'm still actually in a call. All right, I'm in a monthly call. Hopefully by the end of the week, it goes somehow, some way, some green, right? Or maybe like 2 weeks. I'm actually in November calls towards like the middle. I forgot exactly what expiration, but I do have a call on this. I have a 170. The thing about small caps is that we're finally at a spot right here. I'm just gonna mark this here. We're at a point of demand, okay? So the risk to reward for me grabbing a monthly contract, and it's just one, guys, okay? It's not like I put tons of money on it. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna give it about 2-3 weeks maybe and see what happens, if it can go back up and, you know, bounce like this. Not 2023, but like in the next like 2-3 candles. These are weekly candles, by the way. I think the risk to reward is great, but the only thing is that if this continues to drop and the market continues to experience a bearish trend, this thing can continue all the way to 1600 by the end of the year, or even within the next like 2 weeks or so. You guys know that the market has been moving crazy. It has been moving in bigger points, bigger moves. They're more aggressive. Sometimes overnight we get those nice gap downs or gap ups, whichever one comes first. And hopefully the GDP numbers are good or bad. Well, whatever it does, the reaction, let it be good. We go back to the upside, right? That's what I'm saying. No matter what the GDP number is, that thing can be so negative and the market will be so green. It can be so positive that the market will just go super red. So it's a mixture of things, guys. Okay, so you can't just sit there and expect a bad GDP and say, oh, well, we're just going to keep trending. And next thing you know, this thing is like solid green. So don't get caught up in your bias, okay? Just remember that these lows right here are a good area for grabbing calls on IWM, which is our TY future. Now, for me, I actually entered here. No, it was here. I entered down at these levels right here, okay? And I knew it was going to drop another day, so I let it drop. I watched it come down, so I'm being a little more patient. I'm going to wait to see if we can just build right here, right below the 17 to pop back up. So at the 1700 right here, I want to add into my position and just ride it back up 1740. I'm going to trail every 10, 20 to 30 points, all the way to 1750, 1770. Hopefully we can, you know, get a nice bounce into the next 2 weeks. But I will continue to monitor this closely. But anyways, great ticker. Keep watch on this. Let it develop a base. Let it develop some patterns intraday, and trade to the upside versus the downside. The risk to reward, the upside is a lot better than the downside. As for the Dow right now is actually in support levels down here, that 331. I guess just watch that and then the 33, right? I wouldn't want the 33 to give up because then you're going to drop back on down. But just know, check out the Dow sector. And if you see those names that are at support, go check them out and, you know, play that bounce, that small bounce play, right? NQ, I want to give you guys levels, but this one's a little bit more difficult. The reason I say that is because big names of earnings are coming up this week again, and they can go either way. Like, you know, Netflix, right? For example, let's go check it out. Netflix right now had earnings last week, and this thing just blew through the roof. Like, how do you go from 350 basically to 410 right here, right? This Friday. Yeah, 410. That's a pretty big move, and everybody thought and expected these names to continue falling. Like I, for myself, for once, I don't think a TV subscription should be worth $410 for Netflix, let alone 350. I would be okay with it at like 170 or these lows down here 150 or 200. Like that's okay, that's fine. But you start thinking about a TV subscription, and it's like, why is the stock worth over $400 or let alone 800, right? It's all 700 over here. Um, but again, that's just our opinion about what we think. It's not about what the stock market is doing. It's not about the chart. The chart actually reacted in a most positive way, and it kept on trending up. So everything about this name is still bullish. What I like about it the most is the fact that even though we're trending down in the market in general, this name is continuing to hold strong. I've been trading it the past 2 days. Yeah, Friday I traded it. I think that's Friday, and then today, Monday I traded, made a good. I took a good position on this actually. So I'm just gonna go back and check this out and show you where I actually entered. I entered on this candle right here, and I ended up taking profit right here just because I wanted a scalp trade. I actually took a 410 call. I took a small position, and I let it do its thing. Good thing I took profit because I think here the IV would have killed me and I would have been indecisive. I would have gotten emotional and I would have said, hey, I'm just gonna get out, and I would have cut it and then I would have left it alone. The good thing is that I waited patiently throughout midday, and I came to look at it again. I said, okay, there's something going on here. I know it's holding. The market is still green. And the market had one more push around like 9:45 right here. And then I saw this nice green candle here, and I said, okay, so I'm gonna set some levels, some alerts right here at like 404, 404.30. And I grabbed the position right below, and then it popped for that 15, 30 minutes. And I ended up taking profit as soon as it popped up for a good little gain. And little did I know that it was going to come and hit the high of day. But this just shows you to confirm that the base is still holding here. It's a rally base setup here in the market. And it could potentially hit 410 or even 415 or 420. Netflix is a big name, guys, and the fact that it's holding against this market volatility, it's showing you a great amount of strength and good position, good risk to reward, just because the trend is still in our favor for the call side. Okay, so you're gonna see me post Netflix probably all week, as long as we're staying above 400, and as long as we continue to trend to the upside. I'm gonna keep trading this name. I think it moves pretty nice. We just have to buy on red candles because the breakouts, the spreads are a little bit wide, so you have to be careful on your position size. I actually ended up taking a loss here on Friday. I thought it was going to pop above, and as you can see, I took the same position here, but the only difference here is I took half size. Over here, I took a full position, and I ended up taking a loss like right here. But I keep my losses small, even though the position size was very big, the percentage was still the same, which for me ranges from like 15 to 25%, and the gains range from like 20 to 30, sometimes 40 to 50%. So I guess you just have to be careful on these trades, right? But anyways, red day for me on Friday, and then green day for me today. All right, so Netflix is something to take note of. Great name right now. So the other one's going to be NVIDIA, guys. NVIDIA, I was actually questionable on this one. I thought 415, 420 would reject just because it's still looking bearish. And I put that little trend line right here. So I myself know, like, hey, this could be a falling wedge, right? A lot of people like to trade falling wedges, and this is perfect because it's at support. And it did close this gap that was right here. So the wicks down at the bottom from like 410, never broke down below 410, and never rejected today. It actually showed a positive sign. And I just want to show you guys what I ended up taking. That it could have been such a bigger move for me, because I entered literally right here at 412, and I watched it just pop up into that like 418, close to 418. I ended up getting right out on that 115-minute candle, and it just kept on going. It never stopped, guys. I gotta tell you, sometimes you're in these trades and you're looking back and you're like, man, why did I get out? But the reason for this, I got out because of that trend line. I got out because this thing was still bearish. I got out because the market was just questionable. The trend in general is still bearish. So there's nothing wrong with taking profit, nothing wrong with understanding like what you're doing in general with the bigger picture. So you can't go back and say, oh, I should have or I could have or this and that. No, you're right. I had a game plan. I had an entry. I had to take profit, and that was it. Did I catch the full move? No. Did it matter? No. Did I enter and come out green? Of course. I took a piece out of it. I understood my trade. I made 100% breakdown for myself that I understood and provided value for others to make money as well and to see what's actually happening. And therefore being consistent with your trades, whether it's a green trade or a red trade, you have to be able to learn to be consistent with what you believe in and what you see, what you trust with the confidence level that you have seen in the past, like you will in the future. Okay. So make things happen, guys. But anyways, keep track of NVIDIA. If this thing drops, let me just go on the hour chart so you guys can get a clear picture. Okay, so usually when there's a breakdown like this, what ends up happening is it ends up hitting the top of the pole, okay? So this is just for starters. Next thing, whatever happens here, it's going to be one or two things. It's going to be a gap and go, which is just going to pop at the open. It's going to gap and pop at the open. Number two, it's going to reject, okay? And it's probably going to gap down with the market, wherever the market decides to go. Wherever it opens, what I want to do here is I want to grab this. Why that? Just because that is the base of this top. I want to grab that and make this a support. So that 427, you can just even it and say 427. And the reason why it also matches with this right here, okay? It matches at the same spot where it rejected in the past, that it could potentially be a support to ride it back up into this intraday or even higher. Okay, so that's how I'm going to use the hourly chart to look for my levels for tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't want any calls below 127. You could potentially grab one right here at 422.60, but at that point, I personally don't care for it. I just rather see it, this trend specifically, hold into the day. And then, of course, having a nice green market would help this name just keep going a little bit upwards, right? But that's your game plan for NVIDIA. If this thing breaks up, a lot of people always ask me, hey, what's your target? Well, sometimes you just got to trail it every dollar, every $2, every $3, every $4, every $5, whatever it is. Just make sure your position stays green. Like no matter if I say, hey, at 430, I'm going to go to 437.50 and it never hits. And let's just say you hit 434, but you're still in it and you decide to hold it because it never hit that target. And now you're back holding a position that you shouldn't be holding in. At one point it was green and now you're down because now it's bouncing at 427.36, right? Hopefully you guys caught that. But remember, just because you have a target doesn't mean it has to hit. Make sure that as it's going up, it's pushing, it's pumping, and the IV is going, and the market is, rallying. Be sure to take your profit and trail stop in the green. Don't trail stop in the red unless it's a contract with time and it's a free contract and you don't care for it. Then by all means, let it go red. But again, if it's going to affect your account, do not let it go red, okay? But that's just NFLX NVDA for me. The other one's going to be Tesla, actually. This one actually looks pretty decent. I like that somebody mentioned the 210 level was a decent support, but also there's really no major support till you get to 200. So this one's a little bit more riskier. There's a lot of Tesla cult fans out there, and they will grab at every whole dollar. And what I mean by that is 200, 205, 210, 215, 220. These traders love whole numbers on Tesla because this thing just loves to pump it. I also want to mention that this thing actually has some really good volume today. On that drop and pop back up, had a decent buying volume and selling pressure at the same time. Okay, so just to show you, okay, whoever swung it on Friday, congratulations, because you opened up solid green and that huge red candle ended up being a nice drop to 202. I personally just saw this and I thought I was gonna grab a put position right here at like 209. And then I thought about it again at 208. And then after I thought about it, like I entered NFLX right at the open, so I didn't even get a chance to pull the trigger on Tesla. But it's okay. Lots of opportunities out there. And then there was this pattern that formed intraday as well, as you guys can see here on my screen. Nice little pennant intraday. broke above, came back and retested, failed, and now it's filling that area again. So tomorrow, guess what? If we can go above 215 tomorrow, that's going to be our entry for calls tomorrow. So I'm giving you guys a name, a pattern, and how to look for levels into the next day. So, right. So here's your pattern. Here's your failed pattern. Here's your retest, drop, and then now we're chilling right here pre-market. I actually picked up a call swing here. So wish me luck into tomorrow. Whether we open green or red, it's not going to matter because I ended up taking this risk upon myself. But either way, tomorrow, some of you guys are wondering, well, what about pre-market? Well, honestly, it doesn't matter where pre-market is, as long as that 215, 214, 215 break above, I'm riding it all the way to about 220, okay? Again, I'm using whole numbers, guys. I'm not even using the chart levels where it wicked or the tops or whatever. I'm using psychological levels here just because Tesla quotes are freaking crazy. I gotta tell you, okay? So that's honestly what I have for you guys. Just a little recap of today's trades for myself. Keep eyes on Apple. Okay, Apple has earnings next week, so right now we're still kind of trending. The other name that has earnings is Amazon this week. It's actually holding very nice. It bounced today off support off this 124 today and 125, as you guys can see in the past. The other one is Google, I believe. Yes, it's Google. Look, I don't have any opinions on any of these earnings, okay? If you guys are wondering like what my thoughts are, like I don't have any opinions whatsoever. Earnings are 100% gamble. Whether they come out good results or bad results, this thing is going to react to however it wants. All you have to do is understand that whatever gamble you decide to take, that it's going to be 100% loss or 100% gain. Like that's it. But to be perfectly clear, it's going to be 0.99%. Okay, you can't do the full 100. But yeah, guys, I think there's a lot of names out there, that are doing good. Oh, if you guys don't know, Lulu will be added to the S&P 500, and they took away ATVI because Microsoft, I believe, is the one that bought out ATVI. So they added Lulu to the S&P 500, and I think it's next month that it's going to be added on the 8th, I believe. But honestly, you can search it, or I can just do it here if you like. Let's see. I don't know if I can find the date for you right now. But it is on here, guys. It's definitely on it. Just go on the news tab and type in Lulu. I actually had a really green day today. I actually had some alerts on this, but I have that 420 alert. But oh no, I guess I'll probably be adding Lulu to the list pretty soon. But the only thing is that this name is very, very high risk, guys. So you just got to be very careful when you trade it. It moves very, very weird. Let me point out Jets also. I think Jets, which is airlines, it's in a very, very good spot. Oh, this is a long time ago. Airlines is still trending down. I'm actually waiting for a nice base to be created. Okay. So here is VAL. VAL is at the last resort right here. So check this out. So I'm gonna use this 3264, 3270, whatever. And then the last one's gonna be this 31. Okay, now I don't want anything below 31. What I wanted to do is go above 32 and 33 for me to even consider looking at calls. I don't want to buy this dip just because it's still dropping on down. So keep this one on alert. Like look at this. So it's still maybe, yeah, this thing. Oh, you have that one. And then we have this one here. So two different little trends here. But I think it's probably overextended here. Sorry, oversold here. You might get the RSI bounces here pretty soon on DAO. But either way, guys, I think about 33. It's a good area to start looking for calls. So just keep this one on alerts, okay? You guys see me post this, you guys will know that I'm going to be swinging calls. And it's a small mover. It's a small friendly account here, and anybody can trade it. Is really just grab 2 to 3 weeks out, and the contracts are not even that expensive. The percentages are small, the gains are small, but either way, it's a consistent trade that can teach you patience. And to be confident into something that's going to reverse to the upside. Okay. The other one is going to be Starbucks. I know that this thing has earnings pretty soon, but this thing has been holding against the market. So make sure you guys are checking out, Starbucks. Check out Target. Some of these names are actually really good still. They have great risk to reward. PayPal, unfortunately, ended up just keep on dropping. So I just left this thing alone. I didn't touch it anymore. I ended up taking calls for earnings here, and then unfortunately just kept on dropping. I ended up playing calls to the upside once they hit this level, and I rode it all the way up over here. I played calls here, played a lot of calls, and then just kind of left it alone. Been waiting here, as you guys can see. It's still dropping, so all the patterns are just to the downside. There's nothing about it that's going back up at all. So I'm gonna be leaving that for now. The other one is Disney. This one I'm still waiting. As you can see, the picture is clear, right? So of course I'm waiting for 85, 86 level just to claim back up and keep on monitoring some of these names, guys. There's a lot of value out there in the market. You just got to go out and find it, right? This thing also just keeps on dropping. Stop has earnings pretty soon. So, like I said, a lot going on, guys. Um, just stick to a few trades intraday and here and there. BA, I might actually play calls for this. So I'm letting you know now. I think the name dropped too heavy. They've been picking up a lot of contracts and a lot of guidance for the future. I don't know how it's going to affect it. I don't know any of that, but in my personal opinion, I think it's great risk to reward for the call side. But looking at the chart, this thing looks like it's just trending and trending downwards, and nothing's really stopped it yet. It tried changing trend right here, and this was awesome. I was playing calls during that time as well. I tried buying calls here at one point, but then got stopped out, which is not bad. Okay. So I'm gonna try again on here. Let's just go on the 4 hour. Let's go look at some contracts now, I guess. This is a weekly contract. So the weekly contracts right now, they're only at 60%, and it still has an $8 move for the week. I like looking at this number because that's the move of the week. Okay, so it's either going to go up $8, down $8, but it's going to stay between an $8 range, basically what it's saying. So from 181 plus 8, you do the math. 181 minus 8, you do the math. Okay, that's kind of the way that I look at it on Sundays. Okay, not Monday. Today's Monday. But anyways, the 190 calls are not that expensive. I'll probably take that, but knowing me, if I make good enough profit, I'll probably grab the one in the money, the 182.5. Just depending on where we're at right at the close. If anything, the 190 calls just would make more sense. But anyways, that's just kind of my personal opinion. I may or may not take it. Who knows? If I do and it trends up, then you'll hear about it. If I do and it trends down, then you probably won't hear about it because honestly, it doesn't matter, right? But anyways, this market, guys, every 50 points, every 10 points, use that as sentiment, okay? Floor slash at 42.60, 42.50, 42.40. Make sure you start using those levels psychologically just because right now, again, we're going through so much volatility and every psychological number is reacting. Okay, everything psychological about the market right now is happening. So take advantage of that, okay? But yeah, guys, good to, be able to share some charts with you guys. Good to give you guys a little small watch list for the next week and just what I think about the VIX and stuff. Some risk to reward plays. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Nothing else really, to be honest, other than some crazy volatility. I think AMD got some crazy news today, intraday, and it ended up dropping right here. But I don't know. But if you guys need anything, let me know. I'm at Conservative Collectors, guys. I help out as many people as I can. I like to do one-on-ones if people need it, especially on personal levels. I don't mind giving my time to you guys as long as you guys put in the work. If you don't put in the work, then it's irrelevant and it's pointless. But for those of you who are still working, just remember my DMs are always open. Hit me up at Conservative Collectors or through Instagram at Chef Zone. But yeah, hopefully we end up green by the end of the month somehow, some way. If not, then we're just gonna keep on trending down. The next point would be 4150. But watch this 42 to 4150. It's gonna be an epic drop if that happens. But it can also be an epic rally if that happens this week too. Okay, so keep it simple. Respect your stop loss. Trail stop. Trail in the green. Respect your stop losses, guys. If it's not going your way, just get out, accept it, and accept it. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know if you guys have questions. Feel free to DM me anytime. Yeah, stay green, guys.